What's going on, everybody? Sports Player 2.0 Daniel here. And guys, we went 5-4 in the NHL, 3-5 in the NBA, and 9-5 in the MLB. So we had a good day in the NHL, 1 game over 500. We had a bad day in the NBA, 2 games under 500. And a great day in the MLB. We did the exact same thing we did yesterday, I believe. We went 9-5 again for the second day in a row. So 4 games over 500, which is really good. So we got to do better in the NBA. So let's move on to tomorrow's games. The Golden Knights are going to St. Louis to face the Blues. The Golden Knights come in at 25-10-2, and the Blues come in at 16-16-6. The last game for the Vegas Golden Knights, well, these two teams played each other last time, and the Vegas Golden Knights won 6-1. The likely starters for this game is Marc-Andre Fleury for the Vegas Golden Knights and Jordan Binnington for the St. Louis Blues. And the Vegas Golden Knights are a favorite in this one. Give me the Golden Knights to win this game on the road in St. Louis. Next up, we have the Edmonton Oilers going to Ottawa to face the Senators. The Oilers come in at 23-14-2, and the Senators come in at 13-22-4. The last game for the Edmonton Oilers, they lost 3-2 versus the Montreal Canadiens, and for the Ottawa Senators, they lost 4-3 versus the Winnipeg Jets. And the likely starters for this game is Mike Smith for the Edmonton Oilers and Matt Murray for the Ottawa Senators. And the Edmonton Oilers are a favorite in this one. Give me the Oilers to win this game on the road in Ottawa. Next up, we have the Montreal Canadiens going to Toronto to face the Maple Leafs. The Canadiens come in at 17-9-9, and the Maple Leafs come in at 26-10-3. The last game for the Montreal Canadiens, they won 3-2 versus the Edmonton Oilers, and for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they won 5-3 versus the Calgary Flames. And the likely starters for this game is Jake Allen for the Montreal Canadiens and Jack Campbell for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And the Toronto Maple Leafs are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Canadiens to win this game on the road in Toronto. Next up, we have the Colorado Avalanche going to Minnesota to face the Wild. The Avalanche come in at 26-8-4, and the Wild come in at 23-12-2. The last game these two teams played last time, and the Colorado Avalanche won 5-4. The likely starters for this game is Philip Grubauer for the Colorado Avalanche and Kaapo Kähkönen for the Minnesota Wild. And the Colorado Avalanche are a favorite in this one. Give me the Avalanche to win this game on the road in Minnesota. Next up, we have the Arizona Coyotes going to Los Angeles to face the Kings. The Coyotes come in at 19-15-5, and the Kings come in at 14-17-6. The last game these two teams played last time, and the Arizona Coyotes won 5-2. The likely starters for this game is Aiden Hill for the Arizona Coyotes and Cal Peterson for the LA Kings. And the LA Kings are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Coyotes to win this game on the road in Los Angeles. And that does it for the NHL. Let's move on to the NBA. The Knicks are going to Boston to face the Celtics. The Knicks come in at 25-26, and the Celtics the same, 25-26. I'm going to go with the home team here. Give me the Celtics to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves going to Indiana to face the Pacers. The Timberwolves come in at 13-38, and the Pacers come in at 22-27. I'm going to go with the Pacers here. Give me the Pacers to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Washington Wizards going to Orlando to face the Magic. The Wizards come in at 17-32, and the Magic come in at 17-33. I'm gonna go with the Magic here. Give me the Magic to win this game at home. Next up, we have the New Orleans Pelicans going to Brooklyn to face the Nets. The Pelicans come in at 22-28, and the Nets come in at 35-16. I'm going to go with the Brooklyn Nets here. Give me the Nets to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Memphis Grizzlies going to Atlanta to face the Hawks. The Grizzlies come in at 25-23, and the Hawks come in at 27-24, and the Atlanta Hawks are a 2-point favorite in this one. Give me the Hawks to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Dallas Mavericks going to Houston to face the Rockets. The Mavericks come in at 28-21, And the Rockets come in at 13-37. I'm going to go with the Mavericks here. Give me the Mavericks to win this game on the road in Houston. Next up, we have the Charlotte Hornets going to Oklahoma City to face the Thunder. The Hornets come in at 25-24, and the Thunder come in at 20-30. And the Charlotte Hornets are a 4.5-point favorite in this one. Give me the Hornets to win this game on the road in Oklahoma City. Next up, we have the San Antonio Spurs going to Denver to face the Nuggets. The Spurs come in at 24-24, and the Nuggets come in at 32-18. I'm going to go with the Spurs here. Give me the Spurs to win this game on the road in Denver. Next up, we have the Utah Jazz going to Phoenix to face the Suns. The Jazz come in at 38-12. And the Suns come in at 35-14, and the Utah Jazz are a 2-point favorite in this one. Give me the Jazz to win this game on the road in Phoenix. And that does it for the NBA. Let's move on to the MLB. The Mets are going to Philadelphia to face the Phillies. The Mets come in at 1-1, and the Phillies come in at 4-1. Game 1 of this series was won by the Philadelphia Phillies by a final score of 5-3. Game 2 was won by the New York Mets by a final score of 8-4. So whoever wins this game wins the series. And the pitching matchup for this game is David Peterson for the New York Mets and Aaron Nola for the Philadelphia Phillies. And the Philadelphia Phillies are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Mets to win this game on the road in Philadelphia, and give me the under 8 runs in that game. Next up, we have a double header on our hands here. We have the Braves going to Washington to face the Nationals. The Braves are looking for their first win. Started off the season 0-4, and the Nationals just started off their season 1-0 today. They beat the Braves by a final score of 6-5. The pitching matchup for this game is Max Fried for the Atlanta Braves and Eric Fetty for the Washington Nationals. And I don't know who's favorite in this one, but I'm going to go with the Braves here. Give me the Braves to win this game on the road in Washington. Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Pirates going to Cincinnati to face the Reds. The Pirates come in at 1-4, and the Reds come in at 4-1. Game 1 of this series was won by the Cincinnati Reds by a final score of 14-1. The Reds killed the Pirates 14-1. They scored 2 touchdowns on the Pirates, and the Pirates scored an extra point. 1 point against the Cincinnati Reds. The pitching matchup for this game is Chad Cole for the Pittsburgh Pirates and Luis Castillo for the Cincinnati Reds. And the Cincinnati Reds are a favorite in this one. Give me the Reds to win this game at home, and give me the over 8.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Royals going to Cleveland to face the Indians. The Royals come in at 3-1, and the Indians come in at 1-3. Game 1 of this series was won by the Kansas City Royals by a final score of 3-0. The Royals shut out the Indians at the start of this series, and the pitching matchup for this game is Jacob Junis for the Kansas City Royals and Shane Bieber for the Cleveland Indians. And I don't know his favorite again, but I'm going to go with the Indians here. Give me the Indians to win this game at home, and there's no over-under for this game, so yeah. Next up, we have the Minnesota Twins going to Detroit to face the Tigers. The Twins come in at 3-2, and the Tigers come in at 3-2. The first game was won by the Minnesota Twins by a final score of 15-6. The second game, the Detroit Tigers won it in 10 innings. Baddoo walked it off for the Detroit Tigers by a final score of 4-3. He walked it off with a RBI single to bring in the winning run. And the pitching matchup for this game is Kenta Maeda for the Minnesota Twins and Matthew Boyd for the Detroit Tigers. And the Minnesota Twins are a favorite in this one. Give me the Twins to win this game on the road in Detroit, and give me the over 8 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Rays going to Boston to face the Red Sox. The Rays come in at 2-3, and the Red Sox come in at 2-3. Game 1 was won by the Boston Red Sox by a final score of 11-2. Game 2 was won by the Boston Red Sox by a final score of 6-5 in 12 innings. The Boston Red Sox won that game in extras. And the pitching matchup for this game is Ryan Yarbrough for the Tampa Bay Rays and Nathan Eovaldi for the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox are looking for a sweep here, and they are a favorite in this one, but I don't think they will sweep the Rays here. I'm going to give it to the Rays to win this game on the road in Boston, and give me the under 9 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Toronto Blue Jays going to Texas to face the Rangers. The Blue Jays come in at 3-2, and the Rangers come in at 2-3. Game 1 was won by the Toronto Blue Jays by a final score of 6-2. Game 2 was won by the Texas Rangers by a final score of 7-4. So whoever wins this series wins the series. Whoever wins this game wins the series. And the pitching matchup for this game is Hyun-Jin Ryu for the Toronto Blue Jays and Kyle Gibson for the Texas Rangers. And the Toronto Blue Jays are a favorite in this one. Give me the Blue Jays to win this game on the road in Texas, and give me the over 8.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Milwaukee Brewers going to Chicago to face the Cubs. The Brewers come in at 2-3, and the Cubs come in at 3-2. The game 1 was won by the Chicago Cubs by a final score of 5-3. Game 2 was won by the Milwaukee Brewers by a final score of 4-0. So the same thing applies here. Whoever wins this game wins the series. And the pitching matchup for this game is Brandon Woodruff for the Milwaukee Brewers and Kyle Hendricks for the Chicago Cubs. And this one's a pick'em, so I am going to pick the home team here. Give me the Cubs to win this game at home. And there's no over-under again. I don't know what's going on. Why are there over-unders in this game? In this video. Sorry, guys. Next up, we have the doubleheader game 2, the Braves and the Nationals. The pitching matchup for this game is Huascar Ynoa for the Atlanta Braves and Steven Strasburg for the Washington Nationals. I don't know who's favorite again, but I'm going to go with the Nationals this time. Give me the Nationals to win this game at home. Next up, we have the LA Dodgers going to Oakland to face the Athletics. The Dodgers come in at 5-1, and the Athletics come in at 0-6. The Athletics are looking for their first win. They haven't gotten a win in 6 games, in 6 tries. They're 0-6. And the first game of this series was won by the LA Dodgers by a final score of 10-3. The second game was won by the LA Dodgers by a final score of 5-1. So the Dodgers are looking for the sweep here. And the pitching matchup for this game is Trevor Bauer for the LA Dodgers and Jesus Luzardo for the Oakland Athletics. And the LA Dodgers are a favorite in this one. Give me the Dodgers to win this game on the road in Oakland, and give me the under 8.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Chicago White Sox going to Seattle to face the Mariners. The White Sox come in at 3-2, and the Mariners come in at 2-3. The first game of this series was won by the Chicago White Sox by a final score of 6-0. The second game was won by the Chicago White Sox by a final score of 10-4. So the White Sox are looking to sweep the Mariners here. And the pitching matchup for this game is Dallas Keuchel for the Chicago White Sox and Justin Dunn for the Seattle Mariners. And the Chicago White Sox are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Mariners to win this game at home, and give me the under 8.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have the San Francisco Giants going to San Diego to face the Padres. The Giants come in at 2-3, and the Padres come in at 4-2. The last game, game 1, was won by the San Francisco Giants by a final score of 3-2. The second game was won by the San Diego Padres by a final score of 3-1, so whoever wins this game wins the series. And the pitching matchup for this game is Kevin Gausman for the San Francisco Giants and Blake Snell for the San Diego Padres. And the San Diego Padres are a favorite in this one. Give me the Padres to win this game at home, and give me the under 7.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have the St. Louis Cardinals going to Miami to face the Marlins. The Cardinals come in at 3-2, and the Marlins come in at 1-4. The last game, game 1 was won by the St. Louis Cardinals by a final score of 4-1. The second game was won by the St. Louis Cardinals by a final score of 4-2. And the pitching matchup for this game is Jack Flaherty for the St. Louis Cardinals and Pablo Lopez for the Miami Marlins. And the St. Louis Cardinals are a favorite in this one. Give me the Cardinals to win this game on the road in Miami, and give me the over 7.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Baltimore Orioles going to New York to face the Yankees. The Orioles come in at 3-2, and the Yankees come in at 3-2. The last two games was won by the New York Yankees by a 7 spot. They scored 7 runs in both games. They won the first game by a final score of 7-0. They won the second game by a final score of 7-2. So the Yankees are looking good against the Orioles. They're looking to sweep them. And the pitching matchup for this game is John Means for the Baltimore Orioles and Jameson Taillon for the New York Yankees. And the New York Yankees are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Orioles. I think the Orioles will win because I like how John Means is pitching. So give me the Orioles to win this game on the road in New York, and give me the under 9.5 runs in that game. And the final match for the day, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks going to Colorado to face the Rockies. The Diamondbacks come in at 2-3, and the Rockies come in at 1-4. And the first game of this series was won by the Arizona Diamondbacks by a final score of 10-8 in 13 innings. It took 13 innings to decide this game. And the pitching matchup for this game is Madison Bumgarner for the Arizona Diamondbacks and Antonio Zenzatella for the Colorado Rockies. And the Colorado Rockies are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Diamondbacks to win this game on the road in Colorado, and give me the over 11.5 runs in that game. And that does it for today's picks for tomorrow's games. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please give me the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.